Crude oil futures backing off a 6-week high today. Prices falling for the first time in 5 trading days as energy investors find themselves in a holding pattern, awaiting some kind of resolution to the debt ceiling debate in Washington and perhaps more information about economic growth around the world. Still, the biggest bet in the options market is for oil right now to climb 20% to $120 a barrel by year's end. Here to talk about the latest trend, we have Carl Larry. He's the Director of Energy Derivatives and Research at Blue Ocean Brokerage. Carl Larry, always a pleasure. Good to have you with us. $120 a barrel by year end. Doable?
Well, honestly, it's very doable. And at the price right now, when we're looking at these options, it's about $1, $1.20. And that's the price of a lottery ticket right now, and that's what you're going to get.
All right, so if we've got oil at around $99, $100 a barrel right now, what moves it to $120 a barrel? Is it just the simple forces of supply and demand? You've got Saudi Arabia coming in, doing 10 million barrels of oil a day, trying to make up for whatever shortfall there was from Libya. But other than that, don't expect any more.
Well, I mean, that's the issue here. There's not a lot more that we can give. If we look at what the IEA did, they actually not just put more oil on the market, they took away oil, and that's where the problem lies.
How'd they take away oil?
Well, for the instance, let's take the SPR. We released 30 million barrels.
Special Petroleum Reserve, right?
Exactly,
right, okay.
Exactly. So we We took out 30 million barrels, but we're going to put that oil back. I mean, it is a reserve. It's only meant to be used for emergencies. And if we just estimate right now when we took it out to when we're putting back in, there's about a $10 difference there right now. So
we actually cost ourselves money by doing this.
We cost ourselves money by doing this.
This is like another one of those the law of unintended consequences.
Yes.
We take oil out of the Strategic Petroleum Reserve, and indeed there was a plan to already do this, right? Because they had to actually fix the salt cavern in which they store the oil.
That's right.
And now they're going to have to replace it with more expensive oil.
That's right. And that's why I think that going forward, it's going to be a little bit tough to actually put more oil on the market, at least in the U.S., because with this whole budget deal, there's not going to be a lot of money to play with there, especially for oil that we already have.
So $3.75 a gallon. That's kind of the national average for a gallon of gasoline in the U.S. $3.05, that was a year ago.
Right.
So is that $4 a gallon number, is that a significant, psychological price point?
Well, we all thought $2 were at one point. Maybe I'm dating myself. We definitely thought $3 was. And now at $4, we're probably going to find some shock there, too. But it's going to be something that we're going to accept sooner or later. There's not a lot we can do about it here. Right now, America is a land of consumption, not a land of conservatives. Well,
now, one of the things that we've got in common with the Chinese is we're both consumers of imported oil, right? We were talking during the break that
That's right.
51% of all the oil in the United States is imported. Most of it from the Western Hemisphere, places like Canada and Venezuela.
Right.
China imports 55% of its daily oil needs, but that oil has to travel all the way from the Persian Gulf, from the Middle East. They're much more sensitive to changes in the price of oil. What is that going to do to their ability to keep paying for it as their desire for it grows?
Well, I mean, that's the one thing where you realize China is really a lot bigger than a lot of people know. I mean, we're expecting them to grow at 10%, but at 8%, at 6%, it's still pretty hearty growth, and they're willing to pay it. We're just lucky to get 2 to 3% here, and we're struggling with $100. I think they can afford a lot more going forward.
$120 a barrel oil, that's where we started the questioning. We get there before year's end, do you think?
We'll see it. Definitely will see it, yes.
We'll see it. $120 a barrel of oil. I want to thank you very much, Carl Larry, joining us from Blue Ocean Brokerage.